In the depths of the forests of Ghana, where the ancient trees stand like silent sentinels, a horror dwells beyond the reach of ordinary men. The Asanbosam, a being neither truly alive nor wholly dead, lurks in the towering canopies, waiting with iron teeth bared in an eternal, malevolent grin. Born from Akan folklore, these creatures are said to be the cursed remnants of men who once walked among their kin but were claimed by the darkness of the wild. They are predators, drinking not just blood, but consuming the very essence of those who wander too far into the untamed lands. Their strength is unparalleled, their cunning unmatched, and their presence a reminder that some places are not meant for men. Unlike other creatures of the dark, the Asanbosam does not roam the forest floor. It prefers the heights of ancient trees, its clawed feet hooked onto thick branches, allowing it to move in eerie silence. Its limbs, elongated and unnaturally strong, make it a fearsome hunter of the canopy. The iron teeth, its most terrifying feature, are not merely for feeding, they are tools of terror, designed to rend flesh and crush bone in a grotesque display of power. The Asanbosam is patient, lurking for hours, even days, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Once it selects a victim, there is little hope for escape. Many believe that the Asanbosam are not creatures of natural birth, but of twisted fate. Some say they were once men who committed unspeakable crimes, cursed by spirits, to wander the forest in eternal hunger. Others claim they are the remnants of an ancient race, long forgotten, who gave themselves to dark forces in exchange for immortality. Whatever the truth, one thing remains certain: once night falls in the deep woods, the Asanbosam rules unchallenged. It was during the dry season, when the heat baked the land and sent game into hiding, that a small band of hunters set forth into the forest. Led by a seasoned tracker named Kojo, they sought greater fortunes in the deeper woods, where the animals had retreated beyond the usual hunting grounds. They carried their bows and spears, their knives sharpened against the trials ahead. The eldest among them, Nana Kwame, warned them of the dangers that lay within the heart of the forest. Hunger and ambition dulled their sense of caution. For 2 days they hunted successfully, felling a great antelope and catching smaller game. Spirits were high as they roasted meat over the fire, laughing under the thick canopy. Yet, as night fell on the 3rd day, the woods grew eerily silent. The usual sounds of chirping insects and rustling leaves faded, replaced by an oppressive stillness that weighed upon them like a tangible force. "We should not stay here," Nana Kwame murmured, his eyes darting to the trees. "There are things that do not wish us here." Kojo, a man of logic and experience, dismissed the old hunter's fears. "It is the wind, nothing more. Rest, old man. We move at dawn." But sleep would not come easily. A shadow moved among the branches above, silent and watchful. The Asanbosam had found them. The first death was swift. The youngest of the hunters rose in the night to relieve himself. The others heard only a strangled cry, followed by the rustling of leaves. When dawn broke, all that remained was a single footprint leading into the undergrowth, larger than any human foot, the ground disturbed as though something had been dragged away. Panic set in. "We must leave," Nana Kwame urged. "This is no beast of flesh and blood, it is the Asanbosam." Kojo hesitated but relented. They packed quickly, moving in the direction they had come, seeking the safety of the village. But the trees seemed to shift, unfamiliar paths twisting upon themselves, leading them deeper instead of out. The sun, their only guide, was veiled by the thick foliage, leaving them blind in their own homeland. The second man fell at midday. The strongest among them lagged behind, muttering a prayer. A shadow dropped from above, and before the others could turn, he was gone. Only the sound of crunching bone echoed through the trees. Kojo ran, the others following, breath ragged with fear. "Do not stop. Do not look back," he commanded. But fear was a heavy burden, and one of the hunters stumbled. In that instant, a pair of glowing red eyes fixed upon him. The Asanbosam did not rush it, had no need. Hypnotized by its gaze, the hunter stood transfixed as it descended upon him. The last thing he saw was a maw of gleaming iron teeth before darkness claimed him. Now, only 2 remained, Kojo and Nana Kwame. Exhausted, trembling, They pressed forward through the dense underbrush. They could feel the creature's presence, watching, waiting, playing with its prey. "We must reach the clearing," Nanakwame gasped. "Sunlight it cannot follow." Hope rekindled in Kojo's chest. He grasped Nanakwame's arm, dragging him forward. The trees began to thin, the golden light of the late afternoon visible through the gaps. But fate was cruel. A talon-like hand shot from above, grasping Nanakwame by the throat. Kojo turned in time to see the old hunter lifted into the canopy, his screams cut short by a sickening crunch. Blood rained upon the leaves. Kojo ran. He ran as he had never run before, his lungs burning, his legs weak with terror. The clearing was ahead. A final leap, and he tumbled into the golden light, collapsing upon the warm earth. Behind him, in the shadow of the trees, the Asanbosam lingered, its iron teeth glinting in the dimness. The beast did not pursue. The sunlight was its boundary, its prison. It merely watched, waiting, knowing that one day, another would wander too far into its realm. Kojo was the only one to return to the village. His tale was met with hushed murmurs and shaken heads. The elders knew the truth. The forest had claimed his brothers, and it would claim more in time. The Asanbosam still waits among the trees, silent and patient. And those who forget the old warnings will learn, as Kojo did, that some stories are not mere myths, they are memories of horrors that still lurk just beyond the reach of man.
Thank you for watching and subscribe for more videos.